Hello kittens and welcome to the Q&A. Thank you so much for all your probing questions. I'm feeling positively spent. In fact, I've had so many questions, I've decided to keep this video focused on the game related questions and we'll do the drag related questions in another video. Also, please forgive me, but I have munged together some of your questions that were quite similar. So forgive me for paraphrasing some of you, but I felt it would be a bit better to have less questions. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with it. Question 1. What was the inspiration for the original game and how long did it take? Which is from Rochi, Maya and Kat on TikTok and Aura Miller Bravado and Sad Dimple Dion on Instagram. Well, the answer to that was that we wanted to make a game that was unique and hadn't been done before. We also wanted a central concept that everyone could identify with universally, and which also enabled us to create something inclusive for everyone, and that was dating. We also I'd been doing drag in my spare time and I really wanted to find a way to take it to the next level, to sort of give me a reason to keep doing it, if you like. And we also wanted to make a video game that was about something positive and not just about killing people like all the other video games. So it took about a year to refine the concept and the gameplay, which seems like a long time, but when you're making a new concept, it does take a long time to really prototype and work out all the fine details. And then it took another year for us to build it, so about 2 years in total. Question 2. Why do a remaster and not a content update to the original game? And this is from Aura Miller Bravado again and Lust in Translation on Instagram. Now, the reason why we wanted to do a remaster and not a content update was a few reasons, really. Because in 10 years, technology, player expectations and culture have evolved so much that there was quite a lot of ways that we wanted to improve the game. Like, the team wanted to rebuild the technology to be more scalable for updates, as well as taking advantage of improved hardware, with better graphics and animation, and we're using Unity, so a much more advanced version of Unity. And also the team wanted to make the game more inclusive because society and our audience had grown up and evolved as well. And also in 10 years there's been an awful lot of feedback and requests and suggestions for minor improvements from our fans as well as from ourselves. And the remaster allowed us, or provided the opportunity to include all of those things. Question 3. How did you come up with all the funny lines and jokes in the game? From Nuha Fuentes and Lovely Cow on Instagram. Well, pretty much all the funny in the game was written by my brother Alan. What happened was that I wrote the boring vanilla lines for the first few examples before Alan joined the project, and then Alan would come along and make them funny, as well as writing all the alternate voice versions of each line, because there's different voices that say every line in different ways. And before long he got the hang of it and was writing everything. And I did throw in a few of my own lines that I thought of for when Kitty pops up at the top of the screen. And he rewrote most of those as well. So yes, he gets the credit for the writing, and I get the credit for putting on a wig and doing the stupid voices. Question 4. What part of the original game are you most proud of, and what are you most excited about us seeing in the new game? And that's from Men Mosin and Aura Miller Bravado on Instagram, and Tom Plum and K155me on TikTok. I mean, what I'm most proud of is really the impact we made on people's lives, considering that the game was so low budget and such a small team. We've had such powerful stories from fans about how the game was their first introduction to drag, or that it inspired them to come out to their family. And I still can't really fathom how a stupid little dating simulator did that. For the new game, I'm excited to see your reactions to all the improvements that the team is making, and hopefully that we haven't ruined what made it magical in the first place. Although, truthfully, they are being very careful not to change things too much, as we all know that's a recipe for disaster. But I think there are more than enough improvements and new content to make it a very exciting makeover. I don't want to be too specific about the changes just yet. There's much more to reveal over the next few months. Question 5. How did making the game change your life? From Arabella on TikTok. Well, it completely changed my life at the time. I'd never made a game outside of a big studio before, so it was a huge leap of faith. And at first we actually thought it had flopped when it came out on mobile only. But then suddenly on Steam it got picked up by all the YouTube community and went viral. And so suddenly I had to fly around the world being Kitty Powers to promote the game. It was mind-boggling and exciting. And to be honest with you, I was almost glad when the lockdown made us all stop for a bit, because I needed a break. That's a joke, by the way. Question 6. How do you come up with the mini-games? Will there be new ones or improvements to existing ones? And that's from James Joseph Travers on Facebook, Victor the Lemon and My Mixed Talks on Instagram, and Sheep Emoji on TikTok. Now, coming up with mini-games for Matchmaker is an interesting process actually. So we've got a pile of situations, dating situations from TV, movies, real life and our own twisted minds, for things that can happen on dates where things can go disastrously wrong. And we have a pile of ideas for mini games inspired by other video games, board games, playground games, etc. So we try and pair them up so that the gameplay in the game matches the emotional feeling that we imagine that situation might evoke in the person on the date. And sometimes it feels like a great match, sometimes it takes a bit too much compromise to make a good fit. So some stuff works and some stuff doesn't. And then we end up with just the very best and funniest mini games which make it into the game. And yes, there will be a few new mini games in the remaster, as well as several games which are getting some improvements. Question 7. Did you have any other ideas for new games that you didn't go ahead with? And are you planning anything else new? From Lana Namana and Bussy the Bottom Slayer. Or is it Bussy? Well, yes, there is a big folder full of ideas for other games, some of which we started and for one reason or another we didn't finish. And some of those ideas may well reappear later, and so I can't really give you any details. But yes, the aspiration and enthusiasm to do more and newer things is still there, kittens. Question 8. Which playthroughs are your favourites? From Flaming Bird 09 on YouTube and Moth on TikTok. I love them all. What I love about Matchmaker is that it gives the player an opportunity to perform in their own style. So every playthrough has a slightly different flavour of comedy to it. Some are filthy, some are child friendly, and all of them I think are hilarious. It's also really humbling to see huge influencers like iHas Cupquake, LD Shadow Lady, PewDiePie, Cinnamon Toast Ken, Markiplier, and all sorts of other big name influencers playing your game, your stupid little dating game. Obviously the playthroughs that my favourites are probably the ones that got really invested and managed to get all the way to the end of the game and matchmake me. such as Cupquake and Deify. And I have to mention my Spanish-speaking fans and YouTubers such as Lena, Ria Gaming, Lily Cross, and Luna D'Angelis, who are all huge as well. The game is very popular in Spanish-speaking countries. So yes, I love them all. Don't make me choose, kittens. Now, I've got a bunch of quickfire questions. So I'm going to read out who they're from first, and then I'm just going to rattle through them. So these ones are from Neos, Boston Valentine, Joshella Ellis, Blue Gold 1026, Simply Stitches, Cheerful Calico Cat, Juniper, Blue Gold 1026, who I think I've already mentioned, Orchiamis, Abubakar 9306, Bambi 28, Cozy Frog, Shikabana Conga, and Titawam. And here are the questions and the rapid fire answers. Will you do more content with Cupquake? I don't know yet, but hopefully. How much will it cost? I don't know yet. When is it coming out? In 2025, probably the first half. Will it be on console? Don't know yet, but probably not at launch if it does. Will there be a mobile version? Yes. Will it be translated to Spanish? Yes, and more, I hope. What if I already have the old one? The new one should be fresh and exciting enough to be worth buying. Will the old one still be available? Yes. What's the difference between this and the old one? Will the DLC be included? The new one has many improvements that you can see in the trailer. More details are coming in the next few months about more stuff that we haven't even mentioned yet. Everything in the original game and its DLC will be present in some form in the new game. Will I be able to choose non-binary in this game? Yes, you will. Will there be online gameplay? Yes, there will, though details are to be confirmed. Well, that's all for the game Q&A, kittens. I'm going to do a kitty-related version of the Q&A soon to cover all the kitty-related questions and the drag-themed questions. Please, if you enjoyed all of this, please support us by liking and subscribing to the channel. You can also subscribe for updates at magicnotion.com. And don't forget, you can wishlist the new game, Kitty Powers Matchmaker Makeover, on Steam right now. And that's all. Thank you very much, kittens, for joining me, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.